Welcome to the Healing Spirits Here and There podcast with Terri and Amanda, where you'll hear spiritual perspectives, weird mediumship experiences, and try intuitive and trust-building exercises for yourself. Join us every Friday. Like and subscribe to never miss a show, and let's get started.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I'm Terri.
I'm Amanda.
And welcome to our Healing Spirits Here and There podcast, where we will be talking about mediumship, mediums, psychics, empaths, self-love, life issues, and even some exercises to broaden our horizons.
And from time to time, we're going to be having guests on to share their story and teach us a thing or two. And today is our first podcast, and we're nervous, but we're happy. Thank you for being here. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about why we want to do a podcast, our experience and how we've gotten to know each other over the years and how long it's been. And so we can go ahead and get started.
Okay. Well, I met Amanda probably about 10 or 12 years ago doing some classes like mediumship circles. What do you call them? Practice
I think
circles.
that's...
Mediumship circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we ended up in a smaller circle together where first we were going to a big, huge one where there's, I don't know, 50, how many people?
30, 40, 50 people.
It felt like a lot. And so you end up with all these people and you practice things like what's in the bag, using all the different clairs. So... clairvoyance, clairsentience.
I'm so not a Claire fan.
Well, that's what they did. Whatever. And anyway, so we did fun activities like that, kind of building your trust in yourself and all your different things and saying, "Ooh, did I get something right?" And so it was really fun. And then there were people from all over. And so then they kind of broke off into local groups. And that's how we got in a group together. And so then
that group was small. That was six or eight.
Something like that. But it was a pretty small group, and then you can do really kind of specialized exercises, intuitive things, meditation, even body movement. I think we did one where I did some like stretching and body movements, energy stuff. That was really fun.
That one. My body doesn't have no
there.
movement. Yes, and then it branched out from there, and then that's when I realized that actually after those came after James Van Praagh.
Yeah.
So James Van Praagh, I went to James Van Praagh, and that was renowned psychic medium out of Laguna, California. Mm-hmm. He came up here and to the Emerald City and taught a class, and that's where I thought I was in the wrong place, but apparently I must have been in the right place because I am now currently doing mediumship. So when we talk to the people, then they'll be able to say, "Oh, I do that. I do that." That's not what we're trying to do here, is figure out why they have these dreams or why they know their stomach's hurting when someone's around. That would be empathic, right?
Oh, okay. So you're talking about empathic people.
Right. Or just knowing, a gut feeling of intuition, of knowing that something's going to go wrong in a store.
Right. And then being able to trust that you're not crazy and you should listen to your gut. That's what I learned a lot of in our class too, was trusting my own feelings.
Yes. And we want you guys to trust what you're getting. So through our experiences, this is what we're going to end up doing.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of different activities that we've done at our different groups and just personally over the years because it's really fun. It's so much fun to do that on your own, and then you can, share it with other people and do it in your own groups and just see how you do. And, no expectation, just for the fun. It's just like exercising a muscle. It's the same thing. You have to practice and expand that. And also be aware of all the different activities you can do. It's something, it might be brand new, or maybe you've done this for years.
Right.
So.
And then we were going to try to do something different every week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe do a meditation, or like Terri just said, like some type of exercise for you to use a clair, or maybe we don't call it a clair, whatever.
Just sometimes it was very forgetful for me. I know what it's seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and feeling.
Or knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So you don't have to use the words. You just whatever.
But those words are right.
Yeah. Those are the official words. Yeah, so that's the plan for the podcast, to do those kinds of activities and just talk about fun topics and things, and then have guests on like we said earlier. This is kind of our introductory one where we're kind of just talking to you about what we want to do with the podcast. So, and let us know how we're doing, or send comments if there's certain topics that you want to hear about, or questions that you have.
We do have a list of some of those that were put out on my Facebook page, and then a lot of them came in, and we're going to make the sessions off of some of those questions.
Yep.
And hopefully sometimes we will entwine the guest speakers.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, or if there's a certain guest speaker you want, just whatever, you can leave comments.
And they can have their own guest speaker.
Well, they could request someone. I don't know.
Just kidding.
And so we really want to do the podcast too, to just connect with people. It's really scary out there right now. A lot of people are grieving. A lot of people are in fear of, there's about a million reasons. So
there's a million reasons.
Yeah, so we just really want to be able to connect with people on a personal level and help where we can. Yeah,
that's exactly what I want to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
But have fun too. So even if we're dorky's good.
Yeah, dorky's okay. We're not going to be able to help
bad things spill out of my mouth, and that's okay.
So let's see, what else is on our agenda for today? When and where? Oh, we talked about that. We could talk a little bit more about who we are and maybe why you're doing this kind of work.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh, me first?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh, well, again, my name is Amanda. Oh gosh, it's so hard. I'm passing it off to you. You got a solid story.
Okay, like I said in the beginning, that I went to a James Van Praagh class, and it's over 100 people, and I really thought that I was in the wrong place, that I didn't belong there. It actually made me quite ill because I'm extremely empathic, and that's how I read. I physically feel things. And then I went to his class for a week, and after that, it's not like I'm going to go take a class and then think I'm a medium and put my card out there and start doing it.
Right.
But so I waited like a while. There was a lot of validation, and then I started reading. After that, it just took off, and it hasn't stopped. So that's how I began, and that's what it does.
So you're a medium full-time?
Full-time? Yes, I am full-time. I read probably 6 to 8 clients a week. And that's not counting groups if I do groups. Mm-hmm. And I'm currently booking out right now until the end of February.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I might be doing something right. Some people like to consider me like a medical medium, and I don't like that word. I don't like that term. It feels like a whole lot of responsibility on someone.
Oh, totally.
So I always say, if medical stuff comes through, don't sue me. I'm here for your entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor. I have this whole spiel that's on everything.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's exactly how I do that. But I think you sell yourself short, because there's been many times that things have come in for you in mediumship. You just don't have the time to practice it. And after this is all over, you're going to be doing things too.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But I enjoy it. I mean, I know I'm very intuitive. I'm definitely empathic. Not the same way you are. I don't feel people's physical pain. And you do. I feel people's feelings, though. Mm-hmm. Or have a...
No bullshit meter?
Yes! How did you know?
Oh, I might be psychic.
You might be psychic. But yeah, so there's a lot of things. And I've practiced so many different modalities and different things over the years. And I've just never found one that it fits for me like the mediumship does for you, where you see your clients, you just feel that that's right. You do that and you're like, I'm helping someone. I've touched on so many little, healing through art. I did that through a long time. And I really enjoyed that. But
We should do that again.
And we could. And so I've done that. Life coaching.
You've done that oil dropping thing.
Oh, yeah. I love essential oils and doing, what is that called right now?
Technique?
Kind of like that. Yeah, I love that too. I just really love helping people relax and empower themselves. It's so important to me because a lot of my story is that if anyone watching knows me for years, you would know that I really struggled with self-worth issues. And so it's really important to me to help others see how valuable they are and how much they bring to other people, even without knowing it. And so that's been a lifelong journey for me. And I'm finally to the place where I do take care of myself and put myself first. And I know how to say no. And no is a very powerful word. And if you don't know how to use it, holy moly.
I do not.
I really had to practice.
Yes.
And it's really funny. I went to counseling years ago, and I used to just smile. Have the most terrible story. Smile. Hello, I'm happy. And the counselor said, what the hell are you smiling for? Wow. You just told an awful story. What is wrong with you? And I said, I don't know. And she said, you got homework, girl. No smiling. Yeah. You don't smile unless something happened and it made you laugh, or you're generally smiling at a person. And so I had to learn to take the smile off my face and later realize that I was, obviously just a mask, because if I didn't smile, I would cry, and I didn't want to. And so it's just been a lot of years of breaking that down to be able to love, trust, accept, and just be myself and not worry about other people. And so that's something I hope to share with people, because it's really hard to trust yourself over other people. We're not really taught to do that. We're taught to give our power away. What is, I don't want to say medical like the doctor, but it's, what is this authority figure telling you to think? Do it. But maybe your gut says, well, I don't think that's right for me.
Right.
And being able to...
That's intuition right there.
And being able to trust that. And
Trust it.
That's tough. But anyways, that's just a little sampling of what's going on with me. And so right now, though, I'm a full-time mom, so I have a little baby. Yeah. It keeps me busy.
A cutie patootie, for sure.
Little cutie patootie.
I think that one has some empathic abilities.
Yeah,
He's
probably.
sensitive. He picks up like it's a radar. But it looks like he is very confident in a bubble, right?
Yeah.
Like he can put himself there. Don't we wish we all could?
Yes, don't we wish we had an actual bubble that we could go into?
Actually a bubble, yeah. But those things that you talked about, some of those things I didn't even really truly know about you, but I just know that whenever I've been around you and or your mother, that apple did not fall far from the tree, because you guys are very kind, giving, happy people. There's not negative that comes out of your mouth. There's not a lot of negative that comes out of your mom's, even though you guys have had your own grief.
Right.
You've picked up, and people would never know that from you guys.
Right. A lot of people, a lot of people are like that. It ain't always easy, but,
I couldn't help it. I eyeballed your mom.
We have a guest here. She's just not on camera.
Yeah, she's our button pusher.
Yep. So, is it still rolling, Mom? All right, we're still on.
We're still good.
We're still good. Okay,
so what do we want to talk about next?
Well, we could do something fun like
I'm in.
cards or one of these little things, read a mindfulness thing. Ooh, or we could talk about the oils that we're using today and what they mean.
Yeah, she does those oils, but you also do that meditation that you did one time for me.
Yeah.
You did this thing. What was this tapping thing you did to me?
That's E.F.T.
Yes.
Emotional freedom
Yes.
tapping.
Yes.
You know, I know there's a lot of people who do it, and there's a lot of people who have heard of it and haven't done it, and it does not seem powerful, but I swear, sometimes when I was working, I would take my lunch break and I would tap through my entire lunch. And then I was able to go back to work because it's most effective when you are feeling whatever you're feeling, overwhelmed, angry, sad, whatever, and you don't want to do something. That's the best time to do it, and that's when you get the most out of it. So, I mean, yeah, we could do an EFT thing.
Tapping, releasing.
Yeah, it's really good. And there's a guy named Brad Yates on YouTube, and he is an excellent tapper, and he has like everything. You could type in anything you're feeling, frustration, overwhelm, panic, whatever. Brad Yates, he's the guy.
Y-A-T-E-S?
Yeah, Y-A-T-E-S.
Okay.
But he's really, really good, and he's been around for a long time. And so I'll just share with you this book, Emotions and Essential Oils. Move my fingers. It's the 4th edition. I've used this book forever. It's amazing and I love it. And what it goes over is the different essential oils and the meaning of them, the emotions associated with them. So for example, I put lavender in the diffuser. And the reason I did that is because lavender is the oil of communication, which you think lavender is good for relaxing and
Stress.
calming and stress, but it's also
Nervousness.
Yeah.
That was a good pick tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons it's a good oil for communication, because it calms the heart. Oops, I gotta not touch my microphone. So, positive properties of lavender is open communication, feeling relaxed, expressive, having emotional honesty, and feeling heard. And so something you can do for yourself is, look into where you're struggling and see what essential oil will help you with that. You can just look it up online, but if you have a book like this one, it's really in depth. It's really awesome. And then the other oil that we have going it's called Invigorating Blend, and it's the oil of creativity. And so it's invigorating. It gets you creative, motivated, cheerful, good with self-expression, and spontaneous, which,
well, that's what's we're
that's what we're doing.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of going with the flow here and see what happens. But those are the oils that we have in the diffuser today to kind of support us through our first podcast. And
what oils do you think that you would recommend with Thanksgiving coming up? And some people have, not everybody can come. I know in my situation, I won't have my mom here for Christmas, and some people don't have their family members because they're in spirit.
Yep.
So what scent should we have to make things nice?
So
maybe nicer.
Yeah, let me take a look. Let me see. I'm going to look at grief. And because honestly, the holidays I think are really the hardest, and it's like everybody has lost somebody.
Yes.
I mean, there's some young people around who maybe haven't, but there's lots of people who have, and this is a really hard time. So for grief, geranium is a really good essential oil. Lime is like brings you to life, kind of gives you
kind of like orange, or no?
Yeah, it's like kind of like a zesty, happy smell.
Okay, cool.
But geranium, I think, is a loving one. Let me see. Geranium, here we go. The oil of love and trust. Mm-hmm. So yeah, geranium restores confidence in the innate goodness of others and in the world. emotional healing, trusting, forgiving, gentle, loving, tolerant, and open. So geranium is a very floral scent. It's a little overwhelming for me personally, but some people love it. And then there's some blends. These are kind of based on doTERRA, but you know, you don't have to get doTERRA, but you do want to make sure you get therapeutic grade oil if you're going to put it on your skin. Oh, I guess that's something we can talk about, is how to use the oil if you get it. A really easy way, just put some in your hand, put like 3 drops, rub it, and then take 3 deep breaths in, 3 times, experience it that way. And then you can take your hands, because I'll have a little bit of oil left over, and just rub the back of your neck, or you can find like acupressure points and put the oil there, certain places on your body, here, the sides of the eyes, and here. Well, don't put essential oils in your eyes, guys. I just gave bad.
Giving bad advice.
I'm giving bad advice. Don't do that. Do your hands, do your chest, do your back. Don't stick it in your eyes.
Oh, boy. Well, if there's an oil out there, maybe they could write down, what do you think I need for this, or whatever. I just think that in mediumship, I try everything. I incorporate stones, I incorporate oils, I incorporate all of them, because one thing doesn't work for everybody.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I like incenses a lot. That sets my mood, sets my intent or whatever. So is there a way that they send us those list of things that they want to talk about, or that they would like us to talk about?
Do you mean the ideas that we have already, a list from?
That one came from my psychic page, but if those ones, do they still go back there, or do they come back to a certain place from this podcast? That's what I'm asking. Since you're the techie person, I'm not.
So where do the
clients, the readers, the listeners go to drop their information of how they would like to know something? Or could you talk about this? Or
just the comment section.
Okay, fine.
The comment section. And we'll make an email that we'll monitor. And we haven't made that yet, though. So maybe when we post this, we'll have made one, and then we'll just stick it in the notes.
Right.
So, just comment.
Things like the Brad Yates, you could leave in the little notes of how to find him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we really just want to give you ways to support yourself. And like Terri said, there's not just one way, and sometimes you need a ton of tools. And EFT is wonderful. Oils, crystals, meditating, body movement, going to acupuncture, getting massages.
Oh, I get
work.
2 massages a month, 1 acupuncture a month, and I go to the chiropractor once a month.
Okay. I feel
Does
like
that
we
sound
need... Yeah, totally.
I just started all that.
Oh, you did? Oh, good job.
I still don't know how to say no, but I know how to do that.
You know what? It's a start. I had to practice with no. If I didn't want to do something, I would have to first practice sending like a whole paragraph of why I couldn't do it and the reason, like it would be valid. And then eventually I just got to, oh, sorry, I can't make it, but maybe next time. But that whole process was like 6 months or something, to be able to just be like, oh no, it's okay, I can't make it. Thank you for the invite though. So hard, so silly. Seems so silly now.
I think do it differently. Like when I take my car somewhere, I don't want somebody else to drive. I want to be able to drive myself.
Okay.
So I could leave when it gets too overwhelming for me in a place. So if people feel like that, then there's a good reason for that. I refer a lot of people out to getting help. Like when I pick up these children who are empathic.
What do you mean by picking the kids up?
When I have clients that come in and I pick up that they have kids that are sensitive.
Okay. Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Sensitive?
Yeah.
Empathic?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I think your baby is?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So then there's this book I have, and I'm waiting. I wrote to the author because I don't want to plagiarize. I don't want to do anything, but I've asked permission to start putting things on my page about the test and stuff. I send it to people personally.
Is it a test of how empathic you
Right.
are?
And what types you are. But it's by Judith
cool.
Orloff. I think absolutely that woman hit the market when it talks about how to deal with your emotions.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
Emotions, feeling. I think recommending every doctor, teacher, counselor, I think it really needs to be there as well. You know.
Can you give an example of like how you would deal with an emotion, or?
I'm just saying, like, what if there's a child that picks up anger for no reason, but you're in the grocery store and starts having a tantrum? Well, then I would assume that they're around somebody and they absorbed it. So now you think the child thinking it's their emotion, right? And then you want to, they don't know how to dispel it. They don't know how to release it. They, honest to God, think it's them.
I see.
You know, so, not everyone is batshit crazy.
So it might, okay, I understand what you're saying. And you were talking to me about how you, before you knew what was going on with you, that you were taking on other people's feelings and physical pain.
Yes.
You didn't know, and you had, you thought there was a million things wrong with you.
Absolutely.
So,
we were talking about that my medical file was huge. And ironically, there was a friend of mine that was at the doctor's office, and she was doing her internship, and she came out and had my file, all happy to see me, and said, "Wow, you're really sick a lot." Well, there was no HIPAA then, I don't think, because she shouldn't have said something like that. Well, after that, I had went to this fair. My girlfriend, I was supporting her, that she read cards in one of those fairs.
Oh, okay.
So I went to her, and she told me to give my ring to this lady that read really good.
Yeah.
And I gave it to her, and the lady kind of almost gave it back to me in a rude way and said, "I'm not reading this. You should be doing readings," and started babbling. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is not a very good reader. And she's crazy because I'm never going to do readings, right? And then she used the word empathic. And then I had to research it. And then that's how I figured all that out. Because I didn't even know what the word meant. If you're not in that community and you're not in that, we'll call it woo-woo or psychic or the network that connects us all like this, I wouldn't have known that. But I'm noticing it in a lot of children.
Right. And then that's very confusing because, like you said, at the doctor, your friend was like, "Whoa, dude, you're sick." But you never actually had anything wrong with you.
That's right.
You just had symptoms.
I always had symptoms, and then they would say, "There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you."
Yeah.
So now, since I found out, it's like this. It's like night and day different.
Right. So
I have to, when something's wrong with me. I'm a hairdresser too.
Yeah.
So I'm always in somebody's bubble. And so then all of a sudden I have a headache, but it wasn't my headache. So now I have learned when I feel something, I will say in my head or walk away and say, "Is this me? Or is this someone else or something else?"
Right.
If I feel it go away, then I'm right back in going, "Ooh, they have some issues." Not issues, but they have the thing that's going
Right, something's going on with them. It's their foot that hurts, not mine.
That is really
because that's really helpful. So if a lot of kids are like that, or anybody who's like that and doesn't know, I can't imagine. I'm so happy I don't have that.
It's not fun.
I mean, it's nice to help people. So,
right.
But that's not my preference for helping people.
Right. But it's just what we were just talking about. I probably went off topic or something there, but
no. But I just wanted to make sure people understood what you were talking about in regards to the kids, because that can be really confusing for the parents and the kids.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it could be something like that.
And it's not just saying, "Oh, that's just their only problem and they don't need a doctor." I'm not trying to say that by any means. I'm just saying that there's other factors in this child's mood, or this adult, or this husband, or this wife, or this son, or the daughter, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Right. It could be something to do with that.
Right. So I was talking about the Judith Orloff. That was a long story, huh?
So I had a question for you.
Oh.
Over the summer, we went to some group events. We were at the same group events, some birthday parties and things. And I was wondering, I was peeping at you from across the grass or the yard or wherever. And I was thinking, what's going on with Terri right now? Can she enjoy this gathering, or is she getting info, or like, how do you do in a party situation? Do you have a way of turning it off, or?
Well, sometimes you'll just see me drift off into the corner, or I just watch where my back is. So I don't want somebody behind me because I want to know what's going on here. But
okay.
when we were at the park for the birthday party, that one wasn't as stressful because I think we were sitting underneath the trees. I was kind of grounded. I was sitting on the floor. And mostly, I usually just open up my mouth and start spilling stuff. But I'm learning to just, not happening here. Not talking. Not doing it.
Well, I mean, you don't know everybody either, so you don't want to be like...
I don't care.
Oh, then why are you not talking?
Because I think it's rude, or I don't know how they're going to take it, and it's
gotcha.
a birthday party. It ain't about Terri giving readings.
Gotcha.
So I just kind of like to keep it down. I like
see.
to keep, and if you ever pay attention to who's in my circle, I find grounding people. Your mom's one of them. I do a lot with your mom, and I don't usually have a lot of problems when your mom's around. But if I do, it's funny because your mom knows it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, she'll say, oh, yeah, she'll know it.
Yeah. Well, good. Okay, so you can enjoy yourself. You just have to position yourself right. And
depends on how many people. People didn't really like COVID, but it really kept me away from a lot of people. And so what I thought was overwhelming then it was gone-ish because I'm not around a lot of people. And all my readings went on FaceTime.
Oh,
so
you
wasn't
have some
a lot
distance.
of interaction. And I'm a hugger. So, but then when it came back around and now it's kind of opening up again, I feel it, but it's almost like maybe I have some control. Maybe.
All right.
Not like in a no word, but just I don't want to do this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we didn't plan anything specifically out for doing like a confidence building or like a self-love activity.
No, not today.
But I did think of one that we can do. It's really quick and easy. And so it's something I did a long time, maybe 5-6 years ago, I don't remember, but it was really important for me to do it. And so for anybody who's struggling out there with just self-love or paying attention to yourself or knowing that you're enough in any way, something that you can do. And it was really, really hard for me at first. And I think I learned this from Matt Kahn. He's some kind of like spiritual teacher guy, I don't remember, but
Did you say spiritual God?
no, I don't think so. I think I said teacher.
Oh.
Maybe he is a spiritual God. I don't know. I think he's just a man, but that's okay.
He's just
He's human, I think, like all of us. I went with my friend Pam, and anyways, he had us do this activity where my microphone's kind of in the way, but you take your hand, you put it over your heart, take the other hand, okay, and then you preferably are looking in a mirror, but you don't have to, and you tell yourself you love you. Oh, I love you. So you hold your hands over your heart and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. And you're talking to yourself, and if you can, look at yourself in the mirror and you can say something like, I've always loved you. I just didn't know how, but I'm trying now. And I love and accept you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And you just start this love story with your own body, your own self, your own you. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's hard.
It is hard. And I just felt like it was so dorky, but it just makes you feel so good after you do it for a while. Like I had to really force myself. And if you're driving to work in the morning, peep in your little mirror and say, hey, I love you, whatever you got to do. I would sit I had a little mirror in my bedroom, and I would just sit on the end of the bed, and just before I go to bed, do the thing. And, you know, at first it was hard and then it got funny. But it makes you feel good. And it's just, you need to talk to yourself about how important you are. And, you know, you can't always get validation from outside you. And so anyways, I just found that to be very empowering for myself over time. And so anyways, that's a little activity that you guys can do.
Well, you had to give him a hard one.
You think,
It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and tell that. Sometimes it's really hard.
I mean, it is hard.
But you know what? I guess if they can conquer that, then everything else should be pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyways, do you have a funny story that you could share about any of your readings? That it's not too personal, but anything funny that has ever happened?
Oh, I probably have a lot of those. You did not tell me I was doing this today. I would get me all prepared.
Hey, we're doing spontaneous.
No, you just put me on the spot. I mean, I could talk all the time, and all of a sudden I'm talkless. I'm like catatonic over here.
That's okay. That's okay. It's our first episode. You know, we're just seeing how we're going. How are we doing on time?
I don't know when we started because we had so many retakes. I'm just saying.
Hey, it's true.
It is 6:38, my friend.
Well, I'm not sure how long it's been, but you know,
Hey, so why did we do this anyways? What made us start doing this?
the podcast?
Yeah, this, yes.
Well, we kind of talked about that earlier, right? Wanting to connect with people.
Yeah, but I was thinking that when I had that dream, and then this is like kind of really quick. Let's talk about simple signs or following the signs of knowing synchronicities, if you're on the right path or not.
Yeah.
And I had a dream that you were doing a podcast, but the more I looked at it, I was in the podcast with you. And then I mentioned it to you, and then you got all excited.
Yeah.
Well, 2 days after that, I reached out to a card reader friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I called Margaret, and she thought, she says, I was just thinking of you. She goes, I was thinking, or something about reading cards or something, or she had a dream. She had a dream I was having a baby. Well, that ain't happening. So we're not having a baby. But then I couldn't wait to tell you because she said to me, well, if you can't have a baby, then what are you birthing?
Right.
And then I told you, and you had forgotten about the dream that you had.
I just had a dream that I was giving birth.
Yeah.
And I told David in the morning. David is my man. I don't like to say fiance, but we've been engaged for many years. So I'll just call him my guy. We'll get married someday. And I said, my God, I had a dream I was giving birth last night and we just had a baby. So I was like,
that better not be happening.
That's not happening. I said, what a terrible dream. And anyway, so just like, so she had a dream.
Card, and I had the dream.
Yep. And then I had a dream about giving birth. And so it was just, very synchronistic because it was within the same week.
Yeah, it was. And that's how that all came into play for us to do this. But I honestly didn't think that I would be here partnered up with you. I just kind of thought it was going to be you. And this makes me really nervous. And one of the reasons why I think I want to do it is because of my public speaking, or I just don't like the public speaking. And in the form, this is kind of public speaking, and I'm hoping that I would get over it. But I couldn't find a better person because I think that there's a yin and yang in everything. And I definitely think we're yin and yang. Right? I
hope so.
You know, I have the potty mouth, you don't.
That's right. I don't. I just, some reason, naturally don't have a potty mouth on the outside.
But I'm very grateful for everybody who's listening and everybody who will chime in, hopefully, and watch and share and do what they need to do. And hopefully there'll be many more of these.
Anyways, thank you so much for being with us. And we'll leave all the people we talked about, books, stuff like that, in the description below. And again, leave any comments, even if they're not all that nice. It's okay. Leave whatever you want. We don't care.
Right. Yeah, we'll take in your input.
So,
are we pretty much going to wrap up?
We're wrapping up.
Okay. I'd like to say that every one of you is very important to somebody. And we are all important to me. And from my heart to your heart, stay safe and be well.